So, hello everyone. My name is Ranjit Menon. I work at Intel.
Hi, I'm Harini Ramakrishnan. I'm a program manager at Microsoft.
And if you look at both our badges, it says attendee, not speaker. We were not supposed to speak, but as soon as Jim said there are open sessions, we said, hey, this is a great opportunity to go. I know MJ is next, and everybody's waiting to hear MJ, so thanks, MJ. 5 minutes. So we have exactly one slide. And if you give an engineer 2 minutes to make a slide, this is what he does. Just puts 3-4 words on a slide. No architecture diagrams or anything. So I'm talking today, both of us are talking today about DPDK on Windows. So I have 3 questions for the audience. First, how many people here, show of hands, know there's a DPDK port on Windows? That's really good. Second question, how many people know that that code is available today for you to use in a draft repo? A little less, that's good. And the third and final question is, how many know that in the master branch today, there is a Windows support available for a little hello world application, and that's it. That's even less. So as you can see, the number of hands are lower and lower. So if you download the code today from the master branch, you will see a little Windows folder under EAL, because that's all we support today. And we are working to get more support, and we want all of you here to help out, and that's why both of us are here on stage. So the question is why? Why do you need DPDK on Windows? And Harini can probably explain this better, but if you attended this summit last year, you would have seen that Harini was on stage with Cisco, and they showed a use case for Windows where DPDK came in, was able to accelerate video streams within a broadcast studio where they have all these cameras feeding in HD today, about 4K and 8K going forward into a box that they were calling a media server. And today, all of those installations are on Windows. They don't run any Linux systems. So that's because most of the graphics drivers that they need for heavy video processing are all Windows-based. And they were able to get packets up through the kernel at a rate of about 5 simultaneous full HD streams. They heard about DPDK because 2 years ago at the summit, we showed DPDK running on Windows. It was it was L3 forward, essentially running packets back and forth. We were able to meet the same line rate as Linux. So Cisco had heard about that. They took this code, asked Intel and Microsoft to help us, and we helped them bring this up. And they were able to improve their throughput 5x. From 5 simultaneous HD streams, they were able to get 25 simultaneous HD streams. And there's a slide set from last year's summit that Harini presented where you can see all of that. So that's the why of why DPDK is required in Windows. Because there are use cases out there. And if everybody remembers Venki, God bless his soul, he was one of the primary drivers behind this, telling us, build it and they will come. That's what he was telling us. And so we built it and we got one use case out of it. And we are exploring a lot more use cases going forward. So the what? I put this in there because we are at a stage where we need you to help us. And one of the reasons for this is, Tama brought this up at the reception yesterday, is that EAL, the common part of EAL, they call it common, but technically it's common for Unix-based operating systems. So Linux, FreeBSD, everything works. Mac OS, if you tried it, might work, but not Windows. I'll give you an example with a technical audience here. So there's a source file in the common EAL folder. That includes a file called example dirent.h, which does not exist on Windows. And this is in the common code. So now we have to get a Windows implementation of that file. So we searched far and wide, found one, but the license doesn't apply because DPDK is all BSD clause 3 and it doesn't apply. So we are stuck there. Now we are talking to attorneys, trying to figure out a solution around this. So my call to you guys is, if your company has a site that's working on Windows, they may have run into this problem, because if you search online, there are a lot of people who've implemented those common header files on Windows. Help us. Try to help us by relicensing those files using BSD clause 3, and that'll make the DPDK tech board and the governing board, everybody happy about it. Okay? So my last thing before Harini has some words is help. Please contact Harini. She runs bi-monthly, once in 2 weeks meeting, every Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, every Wednesday in the morning.
Yeah, so definitely contact her. I forgot to put an email address here, but contact Harini. If you or another side of your company working on Windows is interested, it's a community call, so everybody's free to join if they want. It spans across the world right now, so the time may not work for everybody. It's 8 a.m. on Wednesdays, so Europe and US are okay, but Asia, it's a little late. And we still have people calling in from India, right? So help us.
Yeah, just to add a few more words. So first up, I want to thank Intel and the other partners that we've been working with so far to bring DPDK to Windows, be it in the form of a draft repository or to get it mainlined into the upstream repository. So I want to thank Intel, who has been driving this so far. I want to also thank the other partners that we've been working with so far. We currently have an Intel poll mode driver that is functional on Windows. We have a Marvel poll mode driver that's functional on Windows. And we also are partnering with Mellanox, and we will, in maybe a month or so, have a poll mode driver that's functional on Windows. So the next step is to really, and again, a Chelsea or poll mode driver that is functional on Windows. So there is a version of these poll mode drivers that are in various stages of validation and being integrated into the draft repository and eventually into the upstream repository. So first up, I want to thank all the partners that have been helping us out in both validation and bringing their solutions over to support Windows. So the next step here is I want to clarify here that Microsoft is committed to seeing DPDK thrive on Windows, and we will start contributions. Our dev team will begin contributions towards the next release that's coming up in spring next year. So you should actively start seeing contributions coming in from the Microsoft team towards the upstreaming effort. So we could use a lot of the help that we can from the wealth of the audience here to make sure that we can go at this with an accelerated pace. Ranjit talked about the video broadcasting use case. In addition to that, we've been not just exploring video broadcasting, but other use cases as well, be it telcos or just being a forwarding server, or even first-party applications at Microsoft. We've been exploring to use DPDK, and all of them have been at various stages of they've been at various stages, and primarily it's been a chicken and egg problem, right? I mean, we want a solution, but the solution is not yet available at the stage that we want it to be, or the feature support is not there. So going forward, we are hoping that with the upstreaming and getting a minimum solution, upstreamed into the repository will give us a good opportunity to go after all those use cases that have been waiting for DPDK support to be available. So thank you for all the contributions so far. Please reach out to me. You could also email dpdkwin, dpdkwin @microsoft.com if you have any questions and need help, or if you have use cases that you want us to start supporting. I'm sorry we don't have an email in the slide, but we'll make sure that we'll circulate it in the DPDK the dev email list, so that you all have you know where to go to. We invite all contributions that we can get going forward, and the faster that we can upstream the libraries, the sooner that we can make it available for the larger target audience. Thanks.
Yeah, there's one point I just missed. If you're just new to Windows or something and just starting work on Windows, don't worry. It's not a new environment. Thanks to Bruce, who's not here today, and Tamar, we were able to integrate the exact same build toolchain, Maison and Ninja, for Windows. It uses the Clang compiler on Windows. Thanks to Google, Clang on Windows is now almost on par with Clang on Linux and other open source. So it doesn't use Visual Studio, and so you don't need to learn anything new. It's almost exactly the same as your tool chains that you're using on Linux, except instead of GCC, it uses Clang.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that we also have Cisco and Broadcom working with this now to bring their Polmo drivers over to Windows. So it's just a matter of time before all of this kind of gets the support for the the diversity of hardware that we can support in the upstream repository is all it's just a matter of time, basically.
That's it. Do you have time for questions, Stephen? Or any questions? No? People know what Windows is?
So either everybody does it or you did a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.